Okay, so dividing decimals. We are going to skip notes 3, that was dividing whole numbers, because that's just kind of review and I don't want to spend a day on it. So we're going to go right into dividing decimals. So with dividing decimals, a number might have an equal, or might not have an equal number of pieces in each group. So when we're dividing things, it may not always work out to where it divides evenly. So this is basically, before when you've divided and it didn't work out equally, you used a remainder. So now you're going to start, instead of having a remainder, just keep going by adding a decimal point and keep going with the place values. So these flowers, we're going to try and divide them into groups, or into 5 groups. No, we're going to do it in groups of 5, actually. 5, 5, 5, 5, and then I have 2 left over. So when we start dividing with decimals, instead of just saying, well, there's 2 left over, or I have a remainder of 2, or whatever, I'm going to keep going and try and actually put those into decimals. So when we're dividing with decimals, when the dividend, or what you are dividing, is a decimal, you follow the rules for dividing whole numbers. However, remember to keep your place values organized and bring that decimal straight up into the quotient or answer. Remember, quotient is the name for the answer in a division problem. Okay, so we're going to practice dividing the values below. Use the grid to keep your place value organized. Okay, that's why they gave us the grid. So when I'm dividing, I put my dividend, the number I'm dividing, so in this case 53.2, I'm going to change colors, inside the box. So I have 53.2. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to straight up bring that decimal point right up into my quotient before I even start dividing. Okay, then I have 14 as my divisor on the outside. So now I'm just going to divide like normal. Pretty much ignore that decimal point until the very end. Okay, so I have 14 goes into 53, and I need to figure that out. 14, we'll say times, we'll try times 4. Yeah, we'll try times 4. It's kind of just guess and check at this point. 56, so too much. So we'll do times 3, and 14 times 3 is 42. So I do 42, and then I subtract. So 3 minus 2 is 1, 5 minus 4 is 1, so I have 11. Well, 14 can't go into 11, right? So I bring down my 2. All right, so I'm trying to figure out 14 into 112. So again, guess and check. I'm going to say I know that 4 times 8 ends in a 2, so we're going to try 14 times 8. 4 times 8, so 32. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Hey, that worked out. So I have 14 goes into 112 8 times. I have 3.8 as my answer. Okay. Now here, you may think, why is this problem on the notes? Those are not decimals. You are correct, but that doesn't mean our answer won't be. So we're going to start with 378 on the inside, because that's our dividend, and 30 on the outside. Okay, right now I don't have a decimal to worry about, so I'm just going to start going. 30 can't go into 3, so I go over to 37. 30 goes into 37 once, right? 1 times 30 is 30, and I have 7 left over. Well, 30 can't go into 7. I still have another place value, so I bring down that 8. Now I need to figure out, okay, how many times can 30 go into 78? So I do 30, 60, 90. Oh, 90 is too much, so 30, 60. So it goes in twice. 2 times 30 is 60, and I still have 18 left over. Like I said, we're not just going to have a remainder anymore. So now what I need to do is actually add a decimal point right here, and go ahead and put it up in your quotient as well. Put a decimal point here, and then add a 0 afterwards. So adding that 0 doesn't change the value of the number because it's after the decimal point, okay? It's like when you're talking about money. $1, you technically should write it as 1.00, right? Those zeros don't add anything. Those aren't cents. You have 0 cents. but it's still there as a placeholder. So that's what we're going to do here. We put a 0 on the end and bring that 0 down. Now I figure out how many times 30 goes into 180. So 30, 60, 90, 110, no, I'm sorry, 120, 150, 180. So 6 times. So if I have 6 times 30, I get 180, and now I have nothing left over. So my answer is 12.6. Okay, so you just add that decimal on the end and then a 0, and you can keep adding zeros for as long as you need to until you don't have any remainders. Okay, so you're gonna do now 186.3 divided by 27. Now 27 can't go into 18, so I'm going to go all the way over to 186. So I'm trying to think, 27. What times 7 ends in a 6? Well, 7 times 8, right? So I'm going to try 27 times 8. Just shot in the dark here. 7 times 8 is 56. 2 times 8 is 16. Plus 5 would be 21. So that's too much. So we're going to go maybe 1 lower. Try that. 27 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 4 would be 18, so that's 189. Still a little too much. So 27 times 6. This is what I mean when I say guess and check. I don't know what it is, so I'm just going with it. Okay, so 7 times 6 is 42. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 4 would be 16. So 162, that is under 186, so that's what I'm going with. So I put my 6 up here. 6 times 27 is 162. Then I subtract. Then you'll have 24. 27 obviously can't go into 24, and we need to bring down our next place value. So I bring down that 3. Make sure you bring your decimal up into your quotient. Okay. And 27, we need to figure out how many times it could go into 243. So based off what I've already done as far as guess and check, I know it's more than 8, right? So I'm going to try 9. So 27 times 9. 7 times 10 is 63. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 6, so that would be 2. So that works out perfectly, 243. So I put my 9 up here after my decimal and show my work to show that there's no remainder. Okay? All right, go to the next side. All right, so again, we're not going to actually spin. I'm just going to pick some. And we're not going to multiply because we already know how to do that. I already talked about that. Okay, so we're going to look, and this is where I'm going to give you guys problems to do. So you're going to divide, we'll do 46.1 divided by 2. We'll do 530 divided by 4, and 45.6 divided by 3. Okay, so you guys are going to do those 3 on your own. And we're going to look at number 4. So the area of the living room is 262.5 feet. The width is 21 feet. So to figure out what the length is, remember length times width equals area, right? So if I know the length or the width, then to find the length, then I need to divide my area by that 21 feet. So I'm going to take 262.5 and divide by 21. So 21 goes into 26 one time. You have 5 left over. Bring down your 2. 21 goes into 52 2 times. I'm going to move my paper up a little bit. There we go. You get 42. So I have 10 left over. I bring down my 5. Make sure you bring up your decimal into your answer. And 21 goes into 105. Let's see, my guess is 5 times. Good guess. So 21 goes into 105 5 times. After your decimal, that 5 goes. So your answer, your length, equals 12.5 feet. Okay? All right, so make sure you do those 3 in the table on your own and put your answers into the Google form. And that's all.